Iskandar, Malaysia was founded in 2006, where it can be considered as Malaysia's first economic region to benefit from its prosperous location and ecosystem, with the goal of becoming the best location for investment and work. Iskandar, Malaysia is located in the heart of the Asian region, Peninsula Malaysia's southernmost point, within the Johor state, near to the most developed area and cities. The place has been developing hastily for the reason that its inception via way of means of optimizing its function inside Malaysia's southernmost country of Johor that is prime with abundant land, herbal and human sources, and enriched via way of means of robust and sustainable dwelling surroundings. Furthermore, as an economic corridor, Iskandar, Malaysia focuses on overall and inclusive growth and understands the significance of stabilizing economic prosperity, quality of life, and a resilient environment. Iskandar, Malaysia's vast land areas, strategic locations, and plenteous ready resources and infrastructure have boosted its 9 promoted sectors, including electronic, transport networks and services, agricultural processing, and tourism. IIB or Iskandar Investment Berhad is known as an investment company, promotes the strategic development of Iskandar, Malaysia, and the shareholders of the IIB are Khazanah Nasional Berhad with 60%, Employees Provident Fund with 20%, and as well as Kumpulan Persarana Rakyat Johor 20%. The conclusive agreement has been signed on December 19, 2006, and the transaction is expected to close in May 2007.
Capital investment is funds contributed by a company that is used to acquire long-term assets. To grow further, the process of investment in establishing capital needs for new and existing projects, determining and establishing resources limitation, establishing baseline criteria for alternative solution, evaluating alternative based on the result of screening and preference decision, and lastly, choosing the best one. IRDA plans to take over Howland Berhad and that may acquire Firewood Studio for RM29,000 in form of cash or stock, and Rida and Firewood Studio as 100% equity finance. Initial investment strategy RM1.5 million, useful life 10 years, percentage 10%, no salvage value, tax 35%, required rate of return 17%, depreciation RM1.5 billion, divide by 10 years, we will get RM150,000. In the same year, IRDA faced a significant decrease of 35% in fixed asset, was mainly due to annual depreciation of RM1.54 billion. This is because they do not purchase any major assets since IRDA continues with its existing prudent drive of curbing its investment on capital expenditure by limiting it to cater for expenditure on replacement and improvements.
Scenario analysis and sensitivity analysis are very important, as both of these analyses are able in helping companies to gain a better understanding of their potential outcome, as well as to assess their risk that they are willing to take before making an investment. For sensitivity analysis, this method is used to analyze how the different value of a set of independent variable will affect a specific dependent variable under a certain specific condition. Through this analysis, the company is able to determine how sensitive the dependent variable is if there is a variation in the independent variable. This will then show the extent to which the outcome will change based on the changes made to one variable. For scenario analysis, it refers to the process of predicting the future value of an investment based on changes that may occur to existing variable. In business, typically 3 possible scenarios such as base case scenario, best case scenario, and worst case scenario are taken into considerations to prepare the possible outcome. Best case scenario refers to the ordinary scenario where if all things proceed normally, then the expected outcome will be normal as it is predicted. Worst case scenario indicates the most unfavorable circumstances that could occur when things do not go according to the plan. And lastly, best case scenario refers to the most favorable expected outcome. First, in order to calculate the OCF, we must calculate the lower and upper bound based on the data given. From the data given, price is 5,000, Quantity is 1,000, variable cost is 3,000 and fixed cost is 400,000. In this case study, the changes for lower bond is decreased by 10% while the upper bond is increased by 10%. For price, the lower bond is 4,500 while the upper bond is 5,500. For quantity, the lower bond is 900 unit while the upper bond is 1,100 unit. Same goes to the variable cost where the lower bond is 2,700 while the upper bond is 3,300. Last one is fixed cost where the lower bond is 360,000 while the upper bond is 440,000. After we get the value of the lower and upper bond, we must rearrange the item based on the rule of thumb. Then we can proceed with the OCF formula in obtaining the OCF value for base, best, and worst. For OCF base, we get RM 1,092,500. OCF worst, we get RM 468,500. And lastly, for OCF best, we get RM 1,820,500.
Formula for NPV is NPV equals to OCF bracket VVIF AIN plus SVAT bracket VVIF IN minus IO. For the base NPV equal 1,092,500 bracket VVIF 70% and 10% plus 0 VVIF 70% 10% minus 1,500,000, and the answer will be 1,092,500 times 4.6586 plus 0 times 0.2080 minus 1,500,000 equal to Rn 3,589,520.50 cents. Next, for the base NPV, 1,820,500 bracket VVIF 70% and 10% plus 0 VVIF 70% and 10% and minus 1,500,000, which equal to 1,820,500 times 5.6586 plus 0 times 0.2080 minus 1,500,000, and we will get RM 6,680,981.30 cents. Last one for the worst NPV, 468,500 bracket VVIF FA 70% and 10 plus 0 PDIF 70% and 10 minus 1,500,000. 468,500 times 4.6586 plus 0 times 0.2080 minus 1,500,000 equal to RM 682,554.10 cents.
For this question, I will be presenting the sensitivity of base case operating cash flow with 10% changes in variable cost. For the first step, we have to calculate the changes in variable cost that were given in the information. We have 3,000 ringgit for variable cost. Increase in 10% variable cost equal to RM 3,300, while decrease in 10% of variable cost equal to RM 3,700. Next, we need to calculate the OCF for increase in 10% of variable cost using the OCF formula, and we will get RM 897,500. For the decrease in 10% of variable cost, we will get RM 1,287,500 for OCF. For the last step, we need to calculate the sensitivity OCF by using the formula sensitivity OCF equal to new OCF minus with old OCF divided by new variable cost minus with old variable cost. Therefore, the amount of sensitivity OCF that we get for both changes in 10% of variable cost is negative 650 ringgit. On the answer on sensitivity, there is a change in variable cost at 10% while the quantity, price and fixed costs are remain unchanged. By referring to the question 5, the impact towards IRDA can be seen where every change in RM1 for variable cost, the operating cash flow will be decreased by RM 650 ringgit.
First one, we need to calculate the financial break-even. At financial break-even, the NPV will equal to 0 and we need to solve the OCF first. And we get the amount of OCF which is 321,985.15. After solving the OCF, then we need to plug in the new OCA value into the formula in order to get the amount of quantity. So we get the answer for the quantity is 408 units. The next step is we need to calculate the degree of operating leverage. First, we need to find the value of DOL by using the formula 1 plus fixed cost divided by the new OCF, and we get the value of DOL is 2.24 times. Next, in order to get the changes in OCF, the amount of DOL times by changes in Q, and we get the answer at 22.4%. To conclude, the DOL is positive, which is 2.24 times. This means that the quantity and the OCF for base case have positive relationships. If the quantity increase, then OCF also increase, while if quantity decrease, then OCF will be decreased as well. For example, when quantity increased by 10%, then the OCF will be increased by 22.4%. Conclude, through the entire calculation, we were able to see in detail the capital investment required for the Teluk Bahang project. Thus, through all above analysis, we consider that Teluk Bahang project portray a great investment for the Iskandar Regional Development Authority, or also known as IRDA. Reason for this is that, in accordance with the amount of NPV compute for the base, best and worst case, each of them are respectively generate a positive NPV. Besides, IRDA should choose the NPV for the best case as it is the highest compared to other. Additionally, the sensitivity of the base case on operating cash flow that change in variable cost at 10% give the negative effect towards IRDA. Thus, through sensitivity analysis, it will be able to evaluate their cash flow and manage any shortfall and that may arise through modifying their variables. A recommendation for IRDA is that they should examine their comfortability when it comes to taking risks. This is because almost any investment entails some level of risk. This conveys that before investing in this project, it is important to consider that there is potential that IRDA could lose some or all of their money. Certainly, with high comfortability on risk, IRDA would possibly reward themselves with high return on investments. Thus, they will more likely to earn extra profit by wisely investing in investment options with a greater risk instead of limiting their investment with lower risk.